The Canoe Man. The hoax that shook Britain sometimes. Danger doesn't come from the unknown, but from within the home. This is a story about debt, deception, and how desperation can transform an ordinary man into a ghost living among us. This is the story of John Darwin, the man who decided to disappear. Some lies are small, easily concealed, but others grow and swell until they become an entirely new reality. And at the heart of this fabricated reality was a man who decided to kill himself without shedding a single tear. Part 1. The Spiral of Debt and the Calculated Disappearance Time. Early 2002. Place: Seaton Carew, Hartlepool, England. John was not a wise investor. He had gambled everything on the property market, buying houses and flats to rent out, and had accumulated debts of £130,000, equivalent to approximately £270,000 today. The specter of bankruptcy haunted him, and the fear of his sons seeing him as a failure was greater than anything else. In a moment of desperation, he had what he later described as a eureka moment, a fake suicide. But a real suicide wouldn't bring in the insurance money. It had to be an accident. Time: March 21st, 2002. Place: Seaton Carew Beach. It was a cold and stormy day. John waited for the right moment. He pushed his red canoe into the harsh waters of the North Sea. It wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. He had sat in the canoe for some time before embarking on his grim journey. It was a cold and calculated plan. He chose the sea because it was a place where traces are easily erased. The widow and the search Anne reported her husband missing to the police. A large-scale air and sea search was launched. The wreckage of the boat and a broken oar were found. The police and the public were convinced that John Darwin had drowned and wept in front of the cameras. Speaking of the pain of loss, she was so convincing that she deceived everyone, including her 2 sons. These lies were key to obtaining the death certificate, which in turn opened the door to insurance money amounting to over £500,000. The hidden neighbor, John, wasn't far away. Initially, he hid in a secret room inside the family home, behind a mirror accessible through an adjoining bedroom. When friends or visitors came, he would hide in the attic. Later, when it became more difficult, he moved into a flat owned by the couple right next door to their house. He used a false identity under the name John Jones, the name of a child who had died in infancy in 1950. Narrator. He was living a terrifying double life. He watched his sons grieve his death while he lived just a few meters away, moving around secretly and buying his necessities in disguise. The Great Fall and the fatal photograph. The Fool's Paradise. After years of living as a ghost, the couple accumulated money, paid off debts, and decided to start over in a place where British law couldn't reach them: Panama. Narrator. In Panama, they invested in real estate and land. They thought they were safe, that the sea had swallowed the secret along with the real John Darwin. Time: December 2007. The strange return. Suddenly, without warning, John Darwin reappeared. A man walked into West End Central Police Station in London, sporting a thick beard and a bizarre claim: "I think I'm a missing person." He claimed to have complete amnesia for the past 5 years, remembering nothing since the year 2000. Narrator. It was a stunning return, a miraculous return from the dead. Anne, still in Panama, played the role of the overjoyed and shocked wife over the phone. The harsh reality, but the detectives weren't convinced. Doubts began to surface about the amnesia story, which seemed far too contrived. The final blow came when police investigators found irrefutable digital evidence. A photograph, narrator, in the offices of a real estate agent in Panama in 2006. A photograph was taken showing John and Anne Darwin smiling and happy, a full year before John claimed to have amnesia. Technology had exposed the lie that humans couldn't uncover. The trial and consequences, the breakdown in court when the police confronted Anne with the photograph. She confessed everything. She returned to the UK and was arrested at Manchester Airport. Narrator. In court, the two tried to justify their actions and claimed she was a victim of marital coercion and that John had been controlling and abusive throughout their 5-year marriage. But the evidence including the loving emails they exchanged in Panama, contradicted her claims. Justice and a new life. In July 2008, John Darwin was sentenced to 6 years and 3 months in prison. Anne Darwin received a slightly longer sentence, 6 years and 6 months, because she took the case to trial and initially refused to confess. The narrator, more painful than the legal punishment, was the reaction of their 2 sons, Mark and James, completely deceived and robbed of their genuine grief. They cut off all contact with their parents for a long time. After serving approximately half of their sentences, they were released. The couple separated while in prison. Anne quietly tried to rebuild her life in northern England, while John moved to the Philippines and married a much younger woman, Mercy, and appears to still be dealing with issues related to repaying the money he defrauded. John Darwin's story is not a story of a return from the dead, but a story of a spectacular fall due to greed and lies. A harsh lesson about the fact that the secrets of the past, no matter how deeply buried, will always find their way to the surface. John Darwin, the canoeist who faked his own death, has revealed details of his scam in a memoir smuggled out of his jail cell. It was reported today. With the help of his wife Anne, the former prison officer faked his own death in a canoe accident in the North Sea in 2002 to claim pound 250,000 insurance. He turned up in London in December 2007, claiming to have suffered from amnesia, but a time-stamped photograph surfaced of Darwin and his wife smiling in an estate agency in Panama, and it emerged that he had hidden in a next-door bedsit owned by the couple. Extracts from a book in which the 59-year-old explains the background to the scam have been published in The Sun today, prompting anger over how he managed to sneak the manuscript out of jail. Darwin, who was serving a 6-year sentence, teamed up with a fraudster he met at Everthorpe Jail in East Yorkshire, who posed as his lawyer after being freed. According to the paper, the pair were apparently able to exchange uncensored material under Rule 39, which allows for correspondence between prisoners and their legal advisors to be treated as confidential. The prison service failed to carry out basic checks that would have revealed Darwin's new lawyer was a conman who was freed on license earlier this year, the paper reported. A Ministry of Justice spokeswoman said it was wrong for convicted criminals to profit from their crimes. Prisons have established processes in place for dealing with Rule 39, which ensures that the confidential legal relationships between solicitors and their clients are maintained, she said. We take any allegations that this rule is being breached very seriously and will investigate them. In his memoir titled The Canoe Man, Panama and Back, Darwin says he contemplated suicide in the face of overwhelming debts but realized it would not solve his financial woes and feared the effect it would have on his wife. The thought of losing everything was more than I could bear, he said. Not only would I think I was a failure in the eyes of Anne, but also in the eyes of my 2 sons, as I would have lost a family home, lost absolutely everything that Anne and I had worked for. He labels the point at which he hit upon the idea of staging his own death as a eureka moment. If we couldn't die, then my crazed brain reasoned I could pretend to die. Not a job for Anne. She may fluff it completely and end up really dead. For my part, I no longer had a choice. I'd made up my mind to do it for real. After all, I wouldn't be the first man to kill himself because of financial pressures. The only difference in this case was that it would look like an accident. A suicide would be useless. The insurance company wouldn't pay out. The police, a coroner, financial institutions, and the couple's 2 sons, Mark and Anthony, were convinced that Darwin had drowned. Darwin was sentenced to 6 years and 3 months in July 2008 after admitting fraud. His wife was jailed for 6.5 years for fraud and money laundering.